So this is the online community platform for the ISO Research and Innovation Network. I'm sure that at least you have seen this screen. The login should work for everybody who has a ISO Global Directory account. You should be able to log in simply by clicking this. If you don't already have an ISO login, just give us your details here. I apologize that it asks for your phone number. We're working on having them remove that, but I promise we will not call you. We just have to, it's a required field, unfortunately, but we're working on that. So you can feel free to put any phone number in there. We won't be using it. You'll log in, everybody will log in this way eventually. Unfortunately, you won't be able to access the community until you do have the ISO login. So you'll log in the way I just did then. It didn't ask me to put in my username and password because I'm already logged into the computer, and it works through ISO's single sign-on. So it should be pretty seamless once you have the login details. So this is the home screen of the community platform. In general, you'll see a news feed here that will tell you what's been happening in the community. For now, the first thing you'll see is a list of the people that have joined. Again, we haven't been able to have that changed on the back end just yet, but eventually we hope you'll be able to see actual activity from people posting and sharing things and having discussions. You can filter this news feed here using these guys. You can see that where people have been making posts. You can see where people, mostly us, but others also have added news stories that might be of interest to you. You can see events. There'll be a few more of those added soon. I don't anticipate we'll have a lot of photos on the platform, but if you have photos of interest, sure, feel free to add them. So then I'm just going to walk you through the other screens so that it's really clear how to use the platform and how to engage with everything. So you have news stories here. If you have a news story that you think is of general interest to this Research and Innovation Network, you're very welcome to share it. There are two ways to share it. One, you can email us, research@iso.org, and we will make a post like this for you. Otherwise, just scroll down to share your news, and you can submit the story yourself. So please do add an image so that it will kind of show up nicely here. If you're not able to, it's fine. We'll find one for you. And then just pop your story in here. Currently, we do have this problem where the color of the text when you type in these windows is not very easily discernible. That's something that we're working on with the provider. They're going to fix that for us. But yeah, in the meantime, if that's a little difficult to work with, please just send it to us, and we'll do it on the back end for you. And so then you'll end up with a format like this. It's pretty straightforward. Your news stories don't have to be long. Feel free to add links to other information or to your own websites to make them really easy for people to navigate. And yeah, I would suggest kind of checking in with this page every so often. We will try to post things that we think will be interesting for you there. The next page is the groups. This is where the discussions will take place. We'd like to keep the discussions kind of sorted by topic. So we've got a bunch of groups for different topics. If you think that there's a topic missing, if there's a group that you'd like to see here, just tell us, we'll add one. Currently, these are the group topics. These are the groups that we have for discussions and information sharing. We have a group on research topics. We think it would be really helpful to talk about the topics that people are interested in. One of the things that we at ISO Central Secretariat would like to get out of this is an idea of what the research priorities are going forward for research on standards and standardization. So we'd love to have your input on what you think the topics of interest are for you. Let me just go into the meeting because I'm having some noise. If it's okay, I'm just going to mute everybody because I'm recording this, and your background noise will come through on the recording, sorry. Okay, so the second group we have is research communication. One of the things that we will be trying to do a bit more of, especially this year, is producing kind of communication materials and research summaries and things that make the academic research literature more useful to everyone. So we're going to look at producing some infographics and some other ways of making research more accessible and convenient. So we're really interested in your thoughts on that, perhaps your experiences with creating research communication products, or the kinds of things you'd like to see, or some good examples maybe that you've seen. It would be helpful to talk about that there. New research announcements, obviously, is for you to share your work with us. We're really keen to understand the research work that others are doing. ISO Members Zone is for ISO members. Primarily, this group exists for the benefit of ISO members. ISO members are not the only members of this network, by the way. We also have people from industry, we have technical experts, we have academic researchers, we will have probably some people from international organizations, we have students. So there's a range of different types of people here, but there is a dedicated group specifically for ISO members to be able to exchange on their research work and their needs and their questions. We here at the ISO Research and Innovation Unit are here to support members in their research. So if we can kind of discuss with you here, it will be really helpful to understand what you're working on, what you need, how we can help. And then we have a couple of kind of research topic specific groups. We have social impacts of standards. There's also a group for environmental impacts of standards and economic impacts of standards. And so this is where, if you have particular examples, particular themes you're interested in, questions, challenges with research, challenges with access to data, this is probably the place to talk about it. We're super interested in hearing about how the research on these three topics can kind of progress and what people are interested in or what they're struggling with. I'd like to suggest that everybody make a post here in the Welcome to the Network group when you first joined. It's really helpful for us to understand why you're here, what you're hoping to get out of the network, what you can bring to the network. So please, please just pop in there and say hi and tell us who you are, where you're coming from. And then the final group is Talk to ISO R&I. So that's for you to ask us any questions. We will put some posts in there about what we've been up to. I think I had a news story. Maybe I put it in general news. We for example, had a workshop on data visualization and kind of infographics with David McCandless from Information is Beautiful recently, and we'll be sharing you know, that kind of thing that might be of interest to our members here in this group. So the way to make a post in a group, you just have this window here, pop in your post there. We're going to add some tags for posts. You can also add tags here. So let's just say that it's tag X and click, what is it, tab or enter? It's enter. Oh no, it's add tag, sorry. So give your tag a name and then click add tag. So then that post is tagged with tag X. Click share now. Sometimes you'll find that your post doesn't automatically show up. It's a bit annoying, but if that happens, just refresh the page. We are working on having that bug fixed, and then it'll be here. So when there are multiple posts in this group, you will then be able to search the posts by tags and by keywords. So if you were interested in anything people had said about, for example, research projects or tag X, you would just click this and my post obviously there will show up, as will anybody else with the same tag. So we hope that this is a useful way of organizing our conversations without potentially having to scroll through a lot of forum topics. But of course, we're open to your feedback on that. So let us know how it goes for you. I'm just going to delete that because it's not useful. Okay, so the research resources page, I want to be really clear about what this is and what this isn't. We want to have in here just some general resources that are useful for this network. And we certainly want to promote research conducted by ISO members. We want to draw your attention to other things you might be interested in, but it is not going to be a kind of comprehensive repository of research on standards and standardization. We are working on that. We're hoping to build a pretty interactive online repository on iso.org this year. So and then when that's available, there'll be a link to it here. But just to sort of distinguish between the two, this will be sort of general resources that are helpful for this network, but not every possible piece of research on standards. However, if you do want to share your research with us for the repository, please send it to research@iso.org, and we'll include it in the repository when that's available. The networking tab is just for you to find other members of the network. Currently, we don't have a display of the whole directory, but we're working with the providers on that. But as it is, you can just kind of search for whatever you might be interested in other people's profiles. One of the things we think might be helpful, let me just see if I can find, yes, Belinda. We asked you, when you signed up for the community, we asked you what your interests and expertise are in relation to standardization. And actually, Belinda and I are bad examples because we probably haven't actually completed our profiles yet. Maybe I should show you a different example. Here we go. So this person has told us that her experience is in, oh no, that's not the right question. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. Your areas of expertise in relation to standardization research. This person knows about innovation and management standards. So if you were particularly interested in management standards, you would come to the network or in connecting with people who have expertise in management standards. You should be able to find them by searching for them here. Okay, so then here's everybody who mentioned management standards in their profile. So hopefully that's a good way of finding peers and colleagues and experts and people that you can discuss the topics that you're interested in with. And then finally, we have the events page where we will share information about events that we think people in this network might be interested in attending. Currently, we have just the one. It's a workshop that we're going to run kind of alongside the EURAS conference, the European Academy for Standardization. And we will have a couple more to add there. Also, if you have events that you're running or that you're aware of that you think might be of interest to people in the community, please feel free to, I don't think you can post them here, but you can definitely email them to us at research@iso.org, and we will create an event listing for you here. So that's the platform. And then you have your own kind of background pages here. You can edit your profile. It's pretty straightforward. You have these kind of settings icons here. You click on that and you can change whatever you have there. And let's see, settings. The one thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, I mentioned it in the email, but it's very important. In your settings, it does look like you have the option to change your password. Please don't change your password. You won't be able to log in because the system authenticates your login request using your ISO account login details. So if you have one password for this platform and one password for your ISO login, the authentication process won't recognize you. So unfortunately, you do still have the option to do it here, but please don't. It will restrict your access. Otherwise, it's kind of the usual basic profile information there. There is a messaging, this is our test messages. There's a messaging function in the platform, but I mean, we don't anticipate people will really use it. We think that people are most likely to email one another, but of course you're welcome to use the messaging on this platform if that's convenient for you. So I'd say that those are the main points of the ISO Research and Innovation Network platform. Let me unmute everybody, and if you have any questions, I would love to take them now.